Another edition of Behind the Lines presented by BetMGM Sportsbook and TheLines.com. I'm Eli Hershkovich, joined every week by BetMGM trading manager Christian Cipollini. How we doing, man?
I'm doing good. The book's not doing as good after another bad week. That's back-to-back ones, but I'm okay.
You're doing fine wherever you're at on the East Coast. But you mentioned it, since week 5, road favorites 15-0 against the spread. That is a historic cover rate. So just going back to week 7, what were some of the highlights or lowlights for you guys at BetMGM?
Yeah, I'll start with the lowlights for us, at least. The 1 o'clock window on Sunday was particularly bad. The Bills winning pretty easily, the Eagles winning pretty easily, the Lions on the road there coming back and winning. All really bad outcomes for the book. Bengals as well. And then even on to Monday night, the Ravens winning was a bad outcome for us as well. We had a lot of people with some parlays remaining that all hinged on either a Derrick Henry touchdown or the Ravens to win or cover, and both happened. So a lot of people cleaned up there. Things that went well for the book, there really wasn't too many. The Steelers winning on Sunday night was really the one we could hang our hat on. That one really helped. We had a lot of Jets bets, but outside of that, not too much else went our way.
Yeah, we'll see if Aaron Rodgers holds himself accountable this week, if you remember last week's conversation. But you hit on it with the Lions and the Vikings. Minnesota, first loss of the season, both straight up and against the spread, so 5-1. At the Rams on Thursday Night Football, as we record this on Wednesday, October 23rd. Thursday night, tomorrow night, taking on LA, in LA at SoFi Stadium. Total of 48. The Rams getting back Cooper Kupp, possibly Puka Nacua, although it seems like it's going to be a week-to-week thing. I don't think he plays on a short practice week coming off injured reserve on Thursday night. I placed a bet on LA on Wednesday morning. I think the Vikings defense is due for a little bit more regression, especially if LA can mimic what Detroit did with their blitz pickups against a very aggressive Brian Flores defense, on top of the fact that there's familiarity between Sean McVay and the Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell coming from the McVay tree. But over at BetMGM, I'm assuming most of the action is on the favorite yet again, if another road favorite's going to cover here.
Yeah, you nailed that one. We've taken so far more Vikings money. Tends to happen with the favorites. I think that trend will continue. I do think we will take a decent amount of Rams bets. I don't think it'll be crazy lopsided towards the Vikings. I think Cooper Kupp coming back is really going to help at least the book be able to take some bets on the Rams, because we haven't over the past couple weeks with him and Puka out. So that'll be helpful, but yeah, we'll definitely be rooting for the Rams.
Kupp player props, have they seen any action so far?
But so far what I've seen is a ton of Aaron Jones, so his rushing numbers have already gone up, and we still keep taking overs on that, along with Sam Darnold's passing yards and passing touchdowns. Cooper Kupp's receiving yards right now, we're at over 69.5. Majority of our money so far has been on the over on that, which makes sense.
Oh.
I think we'll continue to see that, just because of the fact that the passing game for the Rams clearly hasn't been very good since he's been out, and they, when he's in, he tends to catch a lot of balls, and he doesn't have any competition this week, so that all kind of adds up.
Right. Over to another stalwart in the NFC, the 5-1 Lions, 11-point home favorites against the lowly Titans. Blown out, especially in the second half in Buffalo in week 7. Detroit hasn't closed as this big of a favorite since 1996, September of 1996 against the Bucs, when they were minus 12 and Barry Sanders went for 125, $125 on the ground. We'll get into Goff and this Lions offense in a second, but similar to Minnesota, maybe even more so with Detroit. I'm sure Lions bets are just piling up.
Yeah, the Lions are like the one team that we are hoping to fade this entire season. Pretty much every single week, we've taken majority Lions bets. We have a lot of excited fans in Michigan that have been betting them all throughout the year. They're our biggest Super Bowl liability, and when they're 11-point favorites, I cannot imagine we'll take anything but Lions bets in this one. There's a lot of big spread games this week, and this will be one of the key ones where if the Titans can miraculously cover 11 points, that would certainly be big for the book.
We'll see if anyone wants to buy super low on this Titans offense that can't move the ball, and whether it's Will Levis or whoever at quarterback, Mason Rudolph, doesn't seem to be helping much. But with Detroit on their side of the ball offensively, Jared Goff now with the fourth shortest odds to win NFL MVP plus 750 at BetMGM. Lamar Jackson favored to win the award now after 5 touchdowns against the Bucks on Monday night, plus 250 are his odds to win back-to-back MVPs. What is the percentage of bets that you've taken on Jackson or Goff, whoever has stood out over the last couple days?
So we have taken more bets on Jackson. He's the second most we've taken bets on. Patrick Mahomes is the first. A lot of that stems from preseason. Lamar winning last year, too, is always going to end up taking bets. But Lamar and Mahomes both have been at good prices for the book. I don't think either of them have really been anything for more than plus 700, plus 800, something like that. So those are better price points for the book. We don't have a ton of liability on that. But on the opposite side of that, Jared Goff has been a much bigger price. I believe he was somewhere around 20-1 at one point. So while he doesn't have as much bets as the other two, his liability is significantly more. So we certainly don't want Jared Goff. He's actually our second worst outcome outside of Jaden Daniels. So he's certainly one we're going to fade, but it doesn't look that way at the moment because Detroit has been rolling.
Yeah, back to Jackson. Baltimore 5-2, 9-point favorites against Jameis Winston, now a quarterback for the Browns. Cleveland 1-6, the biggest Ravens-Browns spread since 2019, favoring the Ravens. So Baltimore right around two possession favorite, but right around a double-digit favorite as well. Another double-digit favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 16-1 straight up as a double-digit favorite, but 5-10-2 against the number when favored by 10 or more. Chiefs at the Raiders this week, Las Vegas 2-5, somehow covering. I don't know if Antonio Pierce had money on Las Vegas or in Vegas on the Raiders, but going for a field goal, down 8 points on their second to last possession. Just wild, to say the least. But I don't know how bettors can get behind Gardner Minshew yet again against a Steve Spagnuolo blitz-heavy Chiefs pass rush. That being said, I might have to be on the Raiders this week. How many Raiders bets have you seen so far at BetMGM? Over under 1,000?
It'd be great if you could come bet here with us because we haven't taken pretty much any bets. It's been all Chiefs bets. Those last 3 teams we mentioned, all with really big spreads this week. Detroit, Baltimore, and Kansas City are going to be 3 of our biggest needs. The book will really only need one of those 3 teams to cover to probably do us a lot of favors. We're going to have a lot of money line parlays involving those 3 teams. We're going to have a ton of bets on the Chiefs, a ton of it at -10. And we're not going to take many on Las Vegas at this moment. So if we can get one of those to cover or win outright, it probably will end up being a good week. If all 3 of those teams win, I'm not picturing anything good again for the book.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of Ravens, Chiefs money line parlays coming in. Yet again, those 2 teams will be big money line parlay liabilities for BetMGM. But you alluded to Jaden Daniels' MVP odds earlier, and his status is unknown this week after getting knocked out in the first half against the Panthers in blowout fashion. Commanders blitzed the Carolina Panthers and then some in week 7. But Daniels and that rib injury, his status is unknown against the Bears this week, not practicing on Wednesday. Chicago 4-2, 2.5-point favorites with Daniels potentially being out against the 5-2 Washington Commanders. Heavy action toward Chicago, or is this a wait and see for the book?
Yeah, this is one where we have a little bit lower limits. So while we have taken more Bears action, I think that probably stems off this. If you look at this number and reports that we've seen, this is leading more towards Jaden Daniels not playing. And when we do get that official confirmation that he's not playing, this line's likely going to go to 3 from 2.5. So there's a lot of people at this moment that are stacking onto the Bears with that assumption that he's not going to play. This line goes to 3, and they've gotten a pretty good number at -2.5. So that's just really the early action. Of course, if Jaden Daniels is playing, this line's going to completely shift, probably in the other direction to get them at maybe 1.5 to maybe 2-point favorites. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, a little bit more Bears, but it's just early action.
As you all know by now, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for our listeners each week. If you haven't signed up with BetMGM yet, Use promo code The Lines, that's The Lines one word, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code The Lines. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You'll then receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Just make sure to use bonus code The Lines when you sign up. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, 1-800-327-5050 in Massachusetts, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, and 1-800-981-0023 in Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire within 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code The Lines and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Last but not least here on the handle front, the San Francisco 49ers losing to the Chiefs in their Super Bowl rematch in Week 7. San Francisco now 3-4. 4.5-point favorites against the Cowboys at home. On Sunday Night Football, San Francisco dominated Dallas in this spot last season. Total of 46.5. Brandon Ayuk on injured reserve. Deebo Samuel, his status is unknown, coming off of pneumonia. And that came out Sunday afternoon, right before kick. I would have loved to hear that news a couple days in advance of me making my 49ers bet. But I digress. We also don't know about Juwan Jennings, if he's going to play in this game. And Micah Parsons is probably on the right side of questionable for Dallas. So the Cowboys getting a little bit more beef, including one of the best edge rushers, if not the best defensive player in the NFL, back for a huge matchup off the bye week against the 49ers. I'm assuming a decent amount of action towards Dallas, just with all the uncertainty with San Francisco on the offensive side of the ball this week.
Yeah, it seems like bettors kind of don't know what to make of these two teams at the moment. We have seen money on Dallas plus 4.5, but from the money line side, we haven't taken many Dallas money line bets. So some of them like that points there. But yeah, this one, I think it'll be tough to kind of project where we'll be. I do kind of think we'll be a little bit closer to 50-50, probably more leaning on the 49ers. Probably depends on some of that injury news. Yeah, it's an interesting one because, a few weeks ago you would have pegged this as a really big one, but both teams really haven't looked too good at the moment. And I can kind of see that from the betting handle right now.
Yeah, and just overall this week, I mean, per usual, it's a difficult week to handicap, but especially with injuries in this game. Granted, the 49ers will have more practice time to weave in guys like Ricky Pearsall, who didn't look like he knew how to run a route in the 49ers offense in his first game, coming back from the gunshot wound ahead of the Week 1 matchup for San Francisco. Looking at the Week 8 board overall, Christian, bookmakers bets. So your favorite bets on the Week 8 card. I mentioned the Rams are a bet for me at BetMGM, +3, -115. What stands out for you for your bets outside of the BetMGM facilities?
Yeah, so the first one that I'm looking at here is the Bills -3, going back to this road favorite that's been hitting. I just think the Bills have looked much better in this Seattle, while they do throw the ball all over the place. I just don't think I'll see enough from them. I think the Bills end up winning this by about a touchdown. So Bills will be the first one I take. As of right now, I am going to also take the one that I mentioned earlier, the Bears at 2.5. I'm projecting basically that Jaden Daniels isn't going to play. Now, if he does play, I wouldn't like that as much, and maybe I would flop over to the Eagles, but right now I'll stick with the Bears. 2.5.
All right. I like your two bets there. And back to Buffalo for a minute. Weather could be an issue for Seattle in that game, just considering they're ranked number 1 in the NFL in pass rate over expected. And if rain is an issue and is going to play both passing attacks, then they could have to rely on the run a little bit more, and they've been inefficient on the ground with a below-average offensive line. So something worth noting there in one of the late afternoon matchups between Seattle and Buffalo. Over to baseball, World Series begins on Friday. Dodgers are favored to win it, -130. Yankees +110. Probably the best outcome in terms of two-way action for BetMGM. It's not like you're going to see a few amount of bets on either side with two of the biggest. If you want to call the Cowboys America's team, then the Dodgers and Yankees are America's teams in Major League Baseball, at least ahead of the MLB postseason. So what is the liability like? What's the better result for the book, just going back to World Series futures in April, and what's the action been like so far?
Yeah, so right now, like you nailed it right there with the fact that this is two heavyweights. Also, what's been helpful for the book side of things is that both these teams have been up at the top of the favorites since the beginning. The Dodgers have been the favorite since preseason. The Yankees haven't gotten any farther than maybe fifth best odds on a little bad run back in June or something. But outside of that, those have been really low odds. So while they are two very much bet on teams, our liability is very low for them. The Mets were a big problem for us. The Tigers were a big problem for us. Even the Guardians weren't great for us either. So this is pretty much at this moment a dream matchup because not only do we look good on a future standpoint, but we project that this is going to be our most bet on World Series of all time with these two popular teams. Now, while we don't have a California betting market to tie into, the New York side of things and the fact that there's Dodgers fans everywhere, there's Yankees fans everywhere. We do expect a ton of action. As of right now, we'd probably want the Dodgers to win, but not by much. If this series went 7, that would be perfect for us. And anyone but Shohei Ohtani winning MVP is what we'd like. We'd pretty much like Shohei Ohtani not to have a good World Series at all, because I imagine every one of his bets or every one of his overs is going to be hit. If he hits a home run in a game, expect the book to be losing on that one.
So keep that in mind, bettors, for anybody watching or listening to this. Ohtani, the favorite to win World Series MVP, right around +300 at BetMGM. Remember to sign up at BetMGM with our promo code over at thelines.com that's mentioned throughout this podcast. Really appreciate the time, Christian, trading manager over at BetMGM Sportsbook here on Behind the Lines. Always appreciate the insight.
Of course, no problem. Good luck to everyone this week.
For Christian and for myself, Eli Hershkovich, thanks for watching this edition of Behind the Lines presented by BetMGM and thelines.com. So long, everybody, and good luck with your Week 8 bets and World Series wagers. And thank you for watching and listening.